what do you think about Russ and Pat Bev getting rings and wanting a ring if, in fact, the Lakers win?
So we talked briefly about this earlier in the week, D-Lo, and I'm kind of torn. I'm honestly kind of torn. After thinking about it a little bit, I'm kind of torn. Because initially my thought was, fuck them niggas. They ain't on the team right now, you know what I'm saying? And my point was, whenever we were talking about it earlier in the week, was before they got traded, the team was 6 games below 500. After they made the trade, after the trade deadline, they were like 10 games above 500. So it's like, were you the problem a little bit? But I mean, you know, everybody always said whenever Russell Westbrook first got traded to the Lakers that it wasn't a good fit, period.
Right.
Because there was no way that you was going to have AD, LeBron, and Russell Westbrook on the court at the same time and try to figure out how that ball is going to move from person to person, because you got too many ball dominant people on the court at the same time. Everybody knew that wasn't a good fit. The whole world knew that. But as far as Pat Bev is concerned, he's always been a role player his whole career. So he ain't really have much to do with the success of the Lakers anyway, in my eyes. But with that being said, man, the organization itself is most likely going to give them a ring, because it's honestly the good thing to do. Like, but to me, in my eyes, if I was Pat Bev or Russell Westbrook, I would be like, man, this is a participation trophy. But the difference between a participation trophy, say like in Pop Warner or in high school or something like that, like AAU, the difference is that a lot of players in the NBA, especially good players like Russell Westbrook himself, your legacy is based on the amount of rings that you have. So, and Russell Westbrook doesn't have any. So if he was to get one from the Lakers, although it'll have an asterisk on it, he now has a ring in his legacy after winning MVP, triple doubles, being one of the best point guards in NBA history. Now you have a ring to go along with that. Now you have a little bit more of your legacy that's intact. Like, you one of the best point guards of all time. So, I mean, to me, I don't personally think they should get one. Yeah. To me, I personally don't think they should get one. Me personally, I mean, because even if I was Russell Westbrook, I don't even think, if I got one, cool, but I wouldn't have made a public statement like, hey, I need one. I'm waiting on it. Nah. If they give me one, cool. If they don't, cool. I don't care. But that's just my demeanor. But
I knew you were going to do that.
But what you think, D-Lo? What you got going on?
So, and I now have to flip. I had to flip a couple things, but I knew you were going to do that.
Oh, damn, my bad, G, my bad.
Nah, I knew you were going to do that. And the reason I'm saying that is because I thought this as well. So I had to do a little bit of digging to make sure that I was speaking fact. And I'm still kind of hesitant to say this, but I think I'm speaking fact. So,
okay, do you think?
Even though Russ is going to get a ring, it still does not make him or declare him an NBA champion.
It doesn't. I agree. But go ahead. My fault.
Okay. No. I'm saying, so it's no asterisk because it doesn't exist. He's just given paraphernalia for being a part of the franchise, but he's not going to ever be considered a champion. And how I know this to be true is Anderson Varejao. So Anderson Varejao, the year that the Cleveland Cavaliers won the championship when it came back 3-1 against the Warriors, he was on the Warriors team. But 30 games, the first 30 games of the season, he was on the Cavs team, and then they traded him away. They traded him to Portland. Portland then released him, and then the Warriors picked him up. And like I said, he was playing on the Warriors team when they came back, when Cavs came back and won 3-1. So either way it went, Anderson Varejao was the only player, I believe, in history that was guaranteed to get a ring if either team won. Now, with that being said, if you go look at Anderson Varejao's bio, he is not declared a champion. He's never won a championship on paper, right? But he does have a ring. And so I say all that to say, I do think, I kind of went back and forth about it, but I do think that Russ, Pat Bev, they deserve a ring because they played more than 70% of the games as a Laker in the Laker uniform this season.
Agreed. Yeah.
And it's not like they quit on the team or anything like that. They were just traded. Now, I say that, and I think Pat Bev came out, so he runs his mouth a little too much on his podcast.
He does, 100%.
I think he came out and said he requested a trade, and then that's when he got traded. That's what he said. I'm just going to say that's what he said. that's neither here nor there. So I do think they both deserve a ring. And then also why I think they deserve a ring is because without Russ's trade value or whatever that was left of it, they wouldn't have the pieces that they have now to make the run that they have in the playoffs. So I don't really see a problem with them getting a ring as a, thank you for being a part of the organization. Another thing I'll say is older legendary players of organizations can also be offered rings if their organization wins a championship. So like Bill Russell, he had 11 of the 17 rings that he was actually playing when Boston won those rings, but the Celtics can say for the other 6, hey, we want to give you a ring, do you accept? And he can say yeah, sure, or no. I didn't know that.
So, I didn't know that either. You just new news to me too.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not like the 2 players that we're talking about here are special. It's something that's been occurring for quite some time.
Yeah, true shit. I mean, and you kind of already answered my follow-up question is, are they going to be declared champions? And the answer would be no. If they're not even going to put it in the Wikipedia bio that they won a championship with the LA Lakers in 2023, then honestly, like I said, it's a participation trophy. And but there's nothing wrong for Jenny Buss to say, okay, yeah, Russ, Pat, y'all good. Y'all got y'all rings. Y'all was a part of the team. I don't see anything wrong with that. But to come out and publicly say, yo, I'm waiting on that John, to me, that's corny, to keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? But listen to who we talking about here, though. We talking about Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley, 2 of the most outlandish personalities in the NBA as it is. So it's not above the realm of possibility that they actually said that. And I know them dudes said that. Like, shoot, if they win it, shit, I won't mind. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I went back and forth with this so much after we talked about it early in the week. I was like, because I was hard stern on like, nah, don't give them nothing. Right. They don't deserve no ring. They were a terrible team before they got traded. But you're right though. Like if it wasn't for Russell Westbrook's trade value, they wouldn't have been able to get D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley. They wouldn't have been able to get Vanderbilt. They wouldn't have been able to get a lot of people that they got on their team right now. That's actually a really good fit for the organization. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I commend the Lakers organization for making that push. But with his trade value, because he was owed so much money, like his contract was so crazy that there's other organizations like Utah and the Clippers and a couple of teams that were intermingled in this bunch. They had to make up that money. You know what I'm saying? So these couple of people like your Vanderbilts and your Malik Beasleys who have smaller contracts, you still have to add that into be able to make up Russell Westbrook's contract. So I mean, it was definitely a good trade. And I mean, Russ went crazy with the Clippers in the playoffs and he did okay whenever they still had that little final push towards the playoffs in the end of the regular season. So he was doing his thing with the Clippers and, Pat Bev is Pat Bev. He out in Chicago just being Patrick Beverley. So
he back home.
But he back home. Exactly. So, I mean, yeah, they'll get a ring, but I'm still like, fuck them niggas.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little bit of selective outrage, I think, but
for sure,
I mean, it is what it is. I think they should get a ring, and not because I think they should get a participation trophy, but we're so stuck on who's getting the ring and not why they're getting a ring, and it's like, and
that's what I'm stuck on. I agree.
Yeah, and I'll wrap it up by saying I understand this may seem like I'm supporting the participation trophy movement, and I'm really not. I'm just saying, for whatever reason, it doesn't bother me that Russell Westbrook and Patrick Beverley will get a ring for being a part of the Lakers organization, just like everybody else that has been traded away from a team prior to that has gotten a ring. And, if they didn't, it wouldn't bother me either. But I think because it's just tradition, I guess, now in the NBA, I feel like them saying it and they know they're trying to get what they're owed, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and my last thing would be, you said it right. It's paraphernalia. We can't call it, participation trophy, even though that's kind of what it is. But we're not a part of that movement ourselves. But it's paraphernalia. You getting this because you were a part of the team. Just like, if you were in a fraternity or sorority, you get your paraphernalia so you can show that you're a part of that organization. You were a part of the organization. You're going to get this paraphernalia. This is what you wanted. You came out and said you wanted it. So here you go. You got it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Y'all played well while you were here. Thank you. type of thing. So I get it. I'm cool with it. Thank you for watching this video. If you've made it this far, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and hit that notification bell so you miss none of the content. Also, make sure you follow us on all your streaming platforms, wherever you find your podcast.